The storm began suddenly, as if the planet itself had decided to shake off the calm of the evening. Outside the small space station, lightning streaked across the dark sky and thunder rattled the thin metal walls. Alex sat alone in his quarters, hunched over a console, sweat beading on his forehead. He had been working for hours trying to fix a malfunction in the station's life support system. The hum of failing machinery mixed with the howling wind outside, creating a sound that was both eerie and tense. He wiped his hands on a cloth and leaned back, rubbing his eyes. The storm was unusual even for this planet. The weather systems here were unpredictable, but this felt different. The lights flickered, sending shadows dancing across the room. He heard a sudden thud at the door and his heart jumped. At first he thought it was just the storm tossing debris against the station. But then another sound, a soft, deliberate knock, echoed through the metal hallway. Alex froze. "Who's there?" he called, his voice steady despite the rapid beat of his heart. There was no answer. Only silence. He stood cautiously, moving toward the door. The storm's wind rattled the window next to him, making him glance outside. Rain, or something like rain, streaked the sky, reflecting strange colors from the planet's twin moons. It was beautiful and terrifying. Then the door creaked open. At first he didn't see anyone. Then in the shadows a figure stepped inside. Alex's breath caught. She was like nothing he had ever seen before. Her skin shimmered faintly, catching the dim light as if it were made of tiny crystals. Her hair flowed around her shoulders, shifting in color with every movement like liquid light. Her eyes were the brightest thing in the room, reflecting the storm outside, filled with fear and urgency. Alex instinctively took a step back. What are you?" he asked, his voice low. She didn't answer immediately. Her gaze moved around the room, taking in every detail as if she were trying to understand where she had landed. She shivered and he realized she was soaking wet. The storm had clearly followed her, or perhaps it had forced her here. Without thinking, Alex grabbed a blanket from the bed and stepped closer. "Here, take this, you're cold." She hesitated for a moment, then accepted the blanket, wrapping it around herself. Her hands were delicate but strong, and she moved with a grace that seemed almost otherworldly. Alex noticed that despite her fear, there was a calm intelligence in her eyes, as if she was trying to read him as much as he was trying to read her. "Are you hurt?" Alex asked, glancing for injuries. She shook her head slowly. "I need shelter," she said finally, her voice soft but melodic, almost musical. There was an accent he couldn't place, not like anything human. "The storm, dangerous," Alex nodded, still unsure. "You're safe here. For now." He led her to the bed and offered her a seat. She sat carefully, pulling the blanket tighter around her. Her eyes never left him, studying him with an intensity that made his stomach twist with a mix of curiosity and caution. He wanted to ask more, but the storm outside made it difficult to think clearly. The lights flickered again and a loud crash echoed through the station. Alex jumped and she flinched beside him. The moment of shared fear created a strange bond between them. He didn't know why, but he felt compelled to protect her. "Where did you come from?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. She hesitated, glancing toward the door as if afraid someone might hear. "Far, very far," she whispered. Her words were slow, deliberate, chosen carefully. "I cannot—" "Stay," Alex frowned. "Why not?" "You can stay here until the storm passes, at least for tonight." She looked down, almost ashamed. "I cannot. They find me. They must not." Alex's curiosity burned. "Find you? Who?" Again she remained silent, but the fear in her eyes spoke louder than any words. Alex realized that she had fled from something terrible, something she could not face alone, and for some reason she had come to him. The storm roared outside, louder than ever. Lightning illuminated the room in sharp, brief flashes. He noticed the faint glow of her skin, how it seemed to pulse with each flash of light like a living reflection of the storm itself. He had never seen anything like her. Not in pictures, not in simulations. She was alive, alien, and somehow vulnerable. "Okay," he said finally. "You stay here. I'll keep you safe, but we need to figure out what's going on." Her eyes met his, and for a moment he thought he saw relief. She nodded slightly, but her body remained tense. She was wary, always alert, like a predator turned prey. Hours passed. The storm showed no sign of letting up. Alex brought her food and water, which she accepted politely, though she barely ate. She spoke little, only answering his questions in short phrases, each one carefully measured. He tried to learn her name, but she only shook her head, a faint smile breaking through her fear for the first time. Despite the tension, a strange familiarity began to form between them. Alex found himself talking about his life, his work on the station, the mistakes he had made and the challenges he had overcome. She listened, never interrupting, absorbing every detail. He realized that her silence was not just fear, it was also a kind of respect. She was watching him, evaluating him, and he found himself fascinated. She was more than beautiful. She was intelligent, resourceful, and brave in ways he could barely comprehend. At one point, a sudden crash shook the room. Alex grabbed her instinctively, pulling her close. "It's okay. It's just the storm," he reassured her, though his own heart pounded. She didn't speak, but she allowed herself to be held, a small gesture of trust that touched him deeply. The hours stretched on. The storm raged outside, but inside the small quarters a fragile connection grew. Alex realized he was no longer thinking of her as a stranger or even just an alien. She was someone who had walked into his life in the midst of chaos, someone who had chosen him whether he understood why or not. As the night deepened, she finally spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "I chose you." Alex blinked, unsure he had heard correctly. "You, what? I chose you," she repeated, slower this time. "To help me. You, human, special. You, different." Alex's mind raced. He wanted to ask how she knew him, how she could trust a human she had never met. But the words caught in his throat. He didn't understand why, but he believed her. There was something in her gaze, a certainty that left no room for doubt. The storm continued outside, but inside, a calm settled between them. Alex didn't know what the next hours would bring. He didn't know who or what was chasing her, or why she had risked so much to reach him. But one thing was clear. His life had changed forever, and as he watched her drift into a light, uneasy sleep on the bed, wrapped in the blanket he had given her, Alex felt a strange mix of awe, fear, and anticipation. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. This alien beauty, mysterious and powerful, had chosen him, and he would not let her face the storm alone. The night stretched on. Thunder rolled. Lightning painted the room in fleeting brilliance, and the station groaned under the storm's fury. Outside, the storm was relentless. Inside, two beings from different worlds had found each other, their fates now intertwined in ways neither could yet understand. Alex glanced at her one more time. She was still, almost peaceful, but the tension in her body spoke of dangers yet to come. He would stay awake, watch over her, protect her. Humans had survived worse storms, faced greater dangers, and adapted when everything seemed impossible. And he would do the same, for her and for the future that now seemed uncertain but full of promise. Morning came slowly on the space station. The storm outside had finally lessened, though occasional flashes of lightning still lit the sky. Alex had spent the night awake, keeping watch over Lyra. She had slept fitfully, her hands twitching as if holding onto a memory of fear. When she finally stirred, Alex noticed her eyes were clearer than the night before, bright and focused. She stretched delicately, the iridescent glow of her skin soft in the dim light. "Good morning," Alex said cautiously, not wanting to startle her. She looked at him for a moment, her expression unreadable. Then she nodded slightly. "Morning," she replied, her voice still melodic, yet filled with a strange warmth. Alex poured 2 cups of warm nutrient fluid and handed one to her. She accepted it, her fingers brushing his briefly. The contact sent a small shiver through him, but he didn't pull away. Instead, he focused on keeping the moment calm, normal. "Last night." "I should explain," Lyra said after a pause, her eyes fixed on the cup in her hands. "Why I came to you." Alex leaned back, listening intently. He wanted answers, but he also sensed the weight of whatever she was about to reveal. "I am not ordinary," she began carefully. "I am part of a group. My people. Important. But I discovered something dangerous. Something could destroy many worlds." Alex's eyes widened. "Dangerous? What do you mean?" She looked away, her gaze shifting to the window where the storm cloud still lingered. "My people, some of them, want control. They We'll do anything to achieve it. I cannot let them. Alex swallowed hard. He wasn't sure he fully understood, but the seriousness in her tone left no doubt that her words were true. And that's why you came here? Yes, she said softly. You, human, different. You think in ways they cannot predict. You can help me. Alex nodded slowly. He had heard stories about humans being underestimated in galactic history, but he had never imagined being chosen for something so critical. Okay, he said finally. I'll help, but first I need to know more. Who are they? What are they planning? Lyra hesitated. Some want power, to control resources, planets, weapons, systems. I cannot let them succeed. They not stop easily. Alex realized the danger was real. She was not exaggerating. If her words were true, the storm that brought her here was just a small piece of the chaos she was running from. And now, somehow, he was part of it. For the next few hours, they talked quietly, sharing information. Lyra explained that her people were highly advanced, capable of manipulating energy in ways humans could only dream of. Their society was structured differently, with ranks determined not by wealth or politics, but by ability and knowledge. And you discovered a secret? Alex asked, careful to keep his voice steady. Yes, Lyra said. Her eyes flickered with a strange mix of fear and pride. A secret they must not reveal. It could destroy planets, if misused. I escaped to find help. Someone outside their expectations. You, human, rare, courageous, creative. You understand what needs be done. Alex felt a mix of awe and responsibility. He had always thought of himself as an engineer, someone who fixed things on a small scale. Now he was being asked to help prevent a galactic disaster. The weight of the task pressed down on him, but he did not shrink from it. Humans survived against impossible odds, adapted to dangerous situations, and solved problems others could not. He would rise to this challenge just as she believed he could. Lyra's expression softened slightly, and she looked at him with something that resembled hope. You trust human? She asked. Alex smiled faintly. I trust you, and I trust that together we can handle whatever comes next. The calm moment was interrupted by a sudden alert from the station's sensors. The storm outside had triggered a chain reaction in the station's energy grid. Panels sparked, and alarms began to sound. Alex sprang into action. Stay here, he shouted. I'll handle it, but Lyra moved beside him. No, we must work together, she insisted. Alex hesitated but then nodded. Her abilities could help him stabilize the station faster. He watched in amazement as she extended her hands toward the sparking panels. Energy seemed to flow from her fingertips, stabilizing circuits in ways he could not comprehend. His human skills complemented hers perfectly, and within moments, the immediate danger passed. Alex took a deep breath, impressed and a little unsettled. I fixed systems before, but nothing like that, he said. Lyra smiled faintly. We, stronger, together. You, human, think differently. You see solutions. I cannot. Hours passed as they worked together, moving through different parts of the station. The storm had left damage, and some sections were nearly flooded. They navigated corridors where the gravity fluctuated, stepping over broken panels and dodging falling debris. Every time Alex hesitated, Lyra's guidance helped him find a safe path. Every time Lyra faced a technical problem, Alex's ingenuity offered a solution she had never imagined. During a brief pause in a safe chamber, Alex noticed her studying him quietly. You surprised me, she admitted. Humans, not just physical, but mind, strong. Alex shrugged modestly. We have to be. Life throws challenges at us all the time. You adapt or you don't survive. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. Yes, adapt, survive. I understand now. You, human, special. There was a moment of silence. Outside, the remnants of the storm still raged, but inside the station, a fragile sense of trust had formed. Alex realized that his fascination with her went beyond her appearance. She was courageous, intelligent, and determined, and she believed in him in a way that no one else ever had. As they moved toward the central control room, Alex glanced at her again. She was focused, but there was a vulnerability in her stance, a hint that despite her abilities, she had been pushed to her limits. "You've been through a lot," he said gently. Lyra's eyes flickered with emotion. "Yes, much. Too much, but now, hope, maybe, possible." They reached the control room only to find the main console damaged by the storm. Sparks flew from exposed wires, and a low hum indicated the systems were unstable. Alex's mind raced, trying to think of a way to stabilize the controls without causing further damage. Lyra extended her hands again, and energy flowed from her, harmonizing with the systems. Alex directed her, giving instructions on which circuits needed reinforcement and how to reroute power. Together, they managed to stabilize the console. Alex leaned back, exhausted. "I can't believe we did that," he said, glancing at her. Lyra's smile was small but genuine. "Together, strong," she said simply. The success gave them a brief moment to breathe. Alex realized that their partnership was not just about survival. It was about combining strengths from different worlds. His human problem-solving skills, paired with her alien abilities, created a team neither could match alone. As night fell, again on the station, Alex prepared a small area for her to rest. "You need sleep," he said. "We'll need strength for whatever comes next." Lyra hesitated but then allowed herself to lie down. Before closing her eyes, she looked at him. "You believe in humans?" she asked quietly. Alex smiled. "I always have. And now I believe in us. Together." Her eyes softened, and for the first time since arriving, she seemed at peace. The storm outside had passed, but the journey ahead was only beginning. Alex knew that danger was still out there, that others might come searching for her. But he also knew that humanity had faced impossible odds before, and this time, he was ready to stand with someone extraordinary. And as he watched her sleep, a mix of awe and determination filled him. The universe was vast and full of mysteries, but one thing was clear. Humans were not weak. Humans adapted, humans survived, and humans, sometimes, were capable of changing the course of the galaxy. Alex turned to the window, looking at the calm sky. He felt a surge of confidence, the kind only someone who had faced a storm and survived could feel. Lyra had chosen him, yes, but he knew now that he would not let her face the dangers ahead alone. Whatever lay in their future, he was ready. And for the first time, he realized that this alien beauty, who had slipped into his life like a sudden storm, had also brought something new, hope. Not just for her, but for both of them, and perhaps for the worlds that relied on the courage of humans. The storm had finally faded completely, leaving a quiet that felt almost unnatural on the space station. Outside, the planet's twin moons reflected softly against calm clouds, but inside tension lingered. Alex and Lyra knew the danger had not passed. Someone or something was still searching for her. Alex packed a small toolkit into his bag. He had learned that relying solely on the station's systems could be dangerous. The storm had shown him how quickly everything could fail. "We need to move to a safer area," he said. "Somewhere the systems are stable and secure." Lyra nodded, her iridescent skin catching the dim light. "Yes, move!" "Before they find me." They began to navigate the corridors carefully, stepping over debris and avoiding sections that had lost power. The station creaked under the stress of the storm, and occasional sparks leapt from damaged panels. Alex led the way, checking the structural integrity of each corridor, while Lyra's presence gave him confidence. Her abilities were subtle but extraordinary. Small waves of energy seemed to stabilize the weak floors and loose panels as they passed. As they moved, Alex noticed that Lyra's gaze was constantly scanning. Her eyes seemed to see things humans could not. Small signs of danger, energy fluctuations, and even faint traces of motion behind doors. "You can sense them?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she whispered. "They hunt carefully." "I feel traces." Alex's stomach tightened. He had faced dangerous situations before, but never like this. Never with someone depending on him in such a personal way. "Then we stay alert," he said firmly. "No mistakes." Hours passed as they moved cautiously through the station. Occasionally, they had to pause to reroute power or repair critical systems. Alex was impressed by how efficiently Lyra adapted to human technology. Though her people's tools were far more advanced, she was able to use his systems in ways that were intuitive and surprisingly effective. Together, they repaired damaged doors, stabilized gravity lifts, and redirected energy to essential areas. During one pause in a dimly lit corridor, Lyra finally spoke, her voice quiet. "You human? Not afraid?" Alex shrugged. "I am afraid," he admitted. "But fear doesn't stop me. I act anyway. That's how humans survive." Lyra studied him for a moment, her eyes reflecting admiration. "Yes, survive. Think, act different, you. Strong." Alex felt a warmth at her words. Not just from her compliment, but from the recognition that humans could be exceptional. It was one thing to survive storms and repair systems. It was another to have an alien, someone so advanced, acknowledge his strength and courage. Their path led them to the main atrium of the station, where the storm had caused extensive damage. Broken panels lay scattered across the floor, and a large section of the ceiling had partially collapsed. Alex and Lyra carefully navigated around the debris. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the opposite side of the atrium. Alex froze. Lyra tensed beside him. "Here," she said, her voice barely audible. From the shadows emerged a small drone, mechanical and silent except for the soft whir of its motors. Its sensors glowed red, scanning the room. Alex realized immediately that this was a search unit sent to track Lyra. "Hide," he shouted, pulling her behind a partially fallen panel. The drone's sensors scanned directly over them. Alex's heart pounded as he held his breath. Lyra's hand touched his arm. "Wait. Follow my lead," she whispered. Energy pulsed softly from her fingers, a gentle wave that flickered the drone's sensors. For a moment, the machine seemed confused, its scanning pattern disrupted. Alex quickly crawled out from their hiding place, leading the drone toward a damaged corridor with a power surge. The drone malfunctioned almost immediately, sparks flying from its circuits before it shut down entirely. Alex exhaled slowly. "That was close," Lyra nodded. "Yes, close. They strong, but we smarter." As they continued, Alex noticed that his respect for her was growing, not just for her beauty, which was undeniable, but for her intelligence, her courage, and the way she trusted him to act decisively. He realized that he was learning from her as much as she was relying on him. They reached a section of the station that was largely intact. Alex had used it as a workshop for minor repairs before the storm. Here they could rest briefly and plan their next steps. Lyra leaned against a console, her glowing skin dimming slightly as she relaxed. "You exhausted?" Alex asked, handing her a nutrient pack. Lyra accepted it but didn't eat immediately. "Yes, tired. But must continue soon." "They coming. They persistent," Alex nodded. "We'll need a plan. They won't give up easily, and we can't just stay in one place." Lyra's gaze met his. "You believe we succeed?" Alex smiled faintly. "I do. Humans face impossible odds all the time. We find solutions, adapt, survive. You're going to see that firsthand." She studied him silently, as if measuring the truth of his words. Then she nodded. "Yes, humans. Surprising, I see now." They worked through the afternoon, preparing the station for possible attacks. Alex repaired critical systems while Lyra enhanced energy barriers with subtle waves of her hands. Their teamwork was seamless. It was as if they had been partners for years, not hours. During a brief moment of quiet, Alex asked, "Lyra, why did you choose me? Why a human?" Lyra's expression softened. "Humans, not just physical, but mind Courage, creativity, others, predictable. You were special. Alex felt a mix of pride and humility. He had never imagined that his skills, his human intuition, and his ability to improvise would be recognized by someone so advanced. But her words gave him confidence. He wasn't just an engineer anymore. He was part of something larger, something that could change the fate of many worlds. The night fell again. Outside the station was calm, but Alex knew that danger could strike at any moment. They took turns resting in the small, secure room he had prepared. Alex watched Lyra as she slept, her breathing even, her hands resting lightly on the blanket. Despite the dangers, despite the unknowns, he felt a deep sense of responsibility and connection. Hours later, they were awakened by another alert. A different system had been triggered, indicating movement in a lower level of the station. Alex and Lyra quickly prepared. This time, stronger, Lyra said, her voice tense but calm. Careful. Together, Alex nodded. We adapt. We survive. That's what humans do. Together, they descended to the lower level. The corridors were dark and the air smelled faintly of ozone from the previous storm. As they moved, Alex noticed small details. Displaced panels, faint energy traces, and the slight hum of machinery that indicated someone or something was tracking them. Suddenly, a larger drone appeared, its design more advanced, its movements swift and precise. Alex and Lyra exchanged a glance. This was not just a test. It was a hunt. They moved in unison, Alex guiding the drone toward a corridor with faulty power lines while Lyra subtly manipulated energy to mislead its sensors. Sparks flew as the drone malfunctioned temporarily, giving them a chance to escape deeper into the station. When they reached a safer chamber, Alex leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. Lyra stood beside him, her glow dimmed but steady. You, humans, not just strong, adapt, survive, clever, she said softly. I see why. I chose you. Alex looked at her, feeling a mix of awe and responsibility. And I'll stay with you, he said firmly. No matter what comes next. She met his gaze, her eyes reflecting trust, hope, and something deeper, an acknowledgement that humans could stand alongside the most advanced beings in the galaxy. As they prepared for the next move, Alex realized that the danger had bonded them in a way neither could ignore. Their partnership was no longer just about survival. It was about trust, courage, and a shared mission that would test both their limits. Outside, the stars shone quietly, indifferent to the struggles within the station. But inside, two beings from different worlds were learning to rely on each other, to trust in their combined strengths, and to face dangers that no one else could endure. And as Alex looked at Lyra, he knew that whatever the universe threw at them, humans had something no one could take away: courage, ingenuity, and the unyielding will to survive and to protect those who could not protect themselves. The calm after the storm was only an illusion. Alex knew it. Every step through the station reminded him that danger was never far, and now the signals from the lower levels indicated something more serious. Whoever had been tracking Lyra had escalated. Lyra's eyes glowed faintly, her focus intense. They coming now. Strong, fast, prepared. We must stop them, or fail. Alex nodded, gripping a toolkit like a weapon, though he knew the real strength lay in his mind. Then let's make sure we're ready, he said. We've survived this far together. We can finish this too. They moved quickly but cautiously to the central hub of the station, the place that contained the systems most vital to Lyra's people. Sparks from damaged panels lit the corridors as they passed, casting long shadows on the walls. Alex marveled at her calmness, the precision in her movements. Despite everything, she moved like a commander, guiding him and adjusting energy flows with subtle gestures. As they reached the control chamber, alarms blared. A massive drone, unlike any they had seen, entered the corridor. Its size and design were intimidating, armed with multiple sensors and defensive systems. Alex's heart raced. This was the final test. He had to trust both his human ingenuity and Lyra's alien abilities. Ready? Alex asked, his voice steady. Lyra nodded. Together? Yes, the drone advanced and they acted in unison. Lyra extended her hands, releasing waves of energy that interfered with the drone's sensors. Alex analyzed the circuitry and found weak points, directing Lyra's energy precisely where it could destabilize the machine. Sparks flew and the drone faltered. Alex seized the moment, using a tool to short-circuit its core systems. The machine collapsed in a shower of sparks. They exhaled together. But Alex knew the danger wasn't over. The energy network of the station was still unstable from the storm and the ongoing attacks. "We need to secure the systems before anyone else arrives," he said. Lyra moved beside him, her hands glowing faintly as she manipulated the station's energy fields. Alex followed her guidance, rerouting power to stabilize life support, communications, and security systems. His human skill in improvising solutions complemented her precise alien abilities perfectly. For every technical problem, they found a solution together, faster and smarter than either could have done alone. Hours passed. The station stabilized, but Alex knew it was temporary. Lyra's pursuers could adapt, and more could come. He looked at her, tired but unwavering. "Lyra, why did you choose me? Why a human when your people are so advanced?" She hesitated, then spoke, her voice soft but confident. "Because humans are rare, not only strong, clever, courageous, but compassionate. You care for others, even when risk yourself. That makes you special. You can see solutions, not obvious to others. That why I came to you." Alex felt a deep surge of pride and humility. It wasn't just that she had chosen him. It was that she recognized qualities in humans that others might overlook. His species, underestimated across the galaxy, could make a difference. And now he was living proof. Lyra's gaze softened. I trusted you. You proved right choice," Alex smiled faintly. "Then let's finish this together." They returned to the central hub, where the last systems needed protection. Lyra explained that the station contained encrypted data crucial to preventing a galactic threat. If her pursuers accessed it, countless worlds could be at risk. Alex realized the gravity of their task. Failure was not an option. Working side by side, they created a defensive setup. Lyra's energy barriers strengthened the walls, while Alex modified the station's control systems to automatically counter intrusions. Their teamwork was seamless. Every move they made was precise, efficient, and synchronized. Hours later, an unexpected alarm sounded. Alex and Lyra tensed. This was not just a drone. It was a humanoid intruder, skilled and dangerous. The being advanced through the corridors, its intentions clear. Alex felt a flicker of fear, but quickly focused. Humans had faced the unknown before, and he knew courage and strategy could overcome raw power. They prepared. Lyra extended her hands, energy forming a shield. While Alex worked to reroute the station's automated defenses, the intruder struck first, attempting to disable their systems, but Alex anticipated the moves, guiding Lyra's defenses. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the corridor shook with the clash. In a critical moment, the intruder bypassed the defenses and advanced on the control panel. Alex acted instinctively, using a combination of quick thinking and improvisation to create a temporary energy loop, immobilizing the intruder. Lyra added a pulse of energy that sealed the threat, rendering it harmless without harm. The battle ended as quickly as it began. Both Alex and Lyra stood, catching their breath, the tension still thick in the air. "That it was close," Alex said. "Yes, close, but succeed?" "We did," Lyra replied, her voice calm but tinged with relief. They looked around the chamber. The station was stable, the system secure, and the intruders neutralized. For the first time since the storm, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment that went beyond survival. He had faced a threat that seemed impossible, protected someone extraordinary, and proven that humans could stand shoulder to shoulder with advanced beings. Lyra stepped closer. "You human. Incredible. I see now why I chose you. Not only help, but trusted you." Alex met her gaze. "And I trust you. We've faced storms, attacks, and unknown dangers together. I know we can handle whatever comes next." A quiet moment followed. Outside, the calm night sky reflected against the station's windows. Inside, two beings from different worlds stood side by side, united by trust, courage, and a shared mission. Lyra's voice broke the silence. "I must leave soon. My people and will come. For me, if they know Here," Alex nodded, understanding. "Then we make a plan. We ensure your safety. You won't face them alone." She smiled faintly, the glow in her eyes warmer now. "Yes, together. You human, rare, remarkable." As the hours passed, they prepared a secure exit from the station. Alex modified emergency transport systems, ensuring that Lyra could leave safely if needed, while Lyra strengthened protective fields around key areas. Their teamwork was extraordinary, a perfect blend of human adaptability and alien precision. Finally, the moment came. Lyra stood ready to depart. She looked at Alex with a mixture of gratitude and admiration. "I thank you for everything. You human, more than I imagined. Brave, clever, strong, heart." "Good." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had never known. "I could say the same about you. You trusted me when the odds were impossible, and together, we succeeded. That's all the reason I need." Lyra stepped onto the transport pad. The energy field enveloped her, readying her for departure. Alex watched, a sense of both loss and hope filling him. "Will we meet again?" he asked quietly. Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Yes, fate brings us together again. Human, you." Unforgettable. The transport activated and Lyra disappeared in a shimmer of light. Alex stood alone in the central hub, the station finally quiet. The storm had passed, the threats neutralized, and the mission accomplished. For a moment, he allowed himself to relax. He had survived the storm, protected an extraordinary being, and proven the strength of human courage, ingenuity, and compassion. And somewhere across the galaxy, an alien who had once been a stranger now carried a memory of a human who had changed her fate. Alex turned to the windows, watching the calm skies. He knew life would continue, that challenges would arise again, but he also knew this. Humans were capable of extraordinary things. Courage, intelligence, and heart could stand against even the most advanced threats. And sometimes those qualities could create bonds that transcended worlds. As he left the control chamber, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and sometimes dangerous. But humans had the power to survive, to adapt, and to make a difference. And he, Alex, had proven it not only to himself but to someone extraordinary. That night, the station was quiet, but the memory of the storm, the danger, and the alien beauty who had trusted him remained vivid. He smiled faintly, knowing that whatever challenges awaited, humans and humans like him would rise to face them. And somewhere out there, Lyra carried the same thought that a human, brave, clever, and compassionate, had changed the course of events that could have destroyed countless worlds. In the end, it wasn't technology or strength alone that had won the day. It was courage, ingenuity, trust, and the unshakable will to survive and protect those who could not protect themselves. Alex knew, deep in his heart, that humans could face anything. And sometimes fate would send someone extraordinary to remind them, and to show the galaxy the true value of human courage.